Now to our breaking news out of Seoul, South Korea. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol's impeachment has just been upheld by the Constitutional Court. Jessica Washington is live for us in Seoul. So, Jess, what do we know of the verdict?
Right, well, we were just hearing from those Constitutional Court judges. Now, there were 8 Constitutional Court judges. Now, in order to uphold the impeachment, there needed to be at least 6 of them in favor of upholding the impeachment. But in fact, the decision was unanimous. And you can see from the crowd behind me, these are people who had been calling for the impeachment. And you can get a sense of their elation. They're playing music, they're cheering, they've been cheering. Just in the past few minutes, they've been watching a live broadcast from the Constitutional Court. This is the outcome that they wanted. They said that Yoon Suk-yeol broke the rules and needed to be punished accordingly. Now the path of political transition begins. What happens next? The acting president, Han Duck-soo, he will need to call an election, and that will need to happen within the next 60 days. People believe this is a momentous occasion for South Korea. It might be hard for you to hear me because the crowds here are so elated. I'll just talk you through a little bit of what the Constitutional Court had to say. Now, they said that Yoon Suk-yeol had violated people's basic rights. He took actions beyond the powers provided in the Constitution. He violated his duty as Commander-in-Chief by mobilizing troops, and that the martial law interfered with the judiciary's independence. They also noted that the procedures for martial law were not followed as they should have been. Now, the crowds here are cheering, they're excited. This is the outcome that they wanted, but it's worth remembering that supporters of Yoon Suk-yeol are also on the streets. They're also gathered in their thousands. They have been saying that this process has been politically motivated, and they say that it's been unfair. Now, those people will, of course, be disappointed, but the much larger group of protesters, these people gathered here, well, this is the news that they wanted, Mo.
And Jess, obviously a very excited crowd behind you supporting that verdict that came out from the Constitutional Court. If we could just go back a little bit and look over the course of the past few months, what's been going on in South Korea with you. How much has all of this cast a pall over that very well-cultivated image that South Korea has as a modern and vibrant democracy? And how much did all of it remind people in South Korea of the more painful memories of times of dictatorship in the past?
Right, it was certainly a shocking moment in December last year when Yoon Suk-yeol declared martial law. Now, that only lasted for a few hours, of course, but it shocked many South Koreans, many of them young South Koreans who had never experienced anything like this. Now, what the people here have been saying is even though that martial law only lasted for a few hours, it disrupted the image of South Korea as a vibrant and healthy democracy, and as a result, Yoon Suk-yeol needed to be held to account. Now, they will have the chance to elect a new leadership. Recent polling suggests that many people became disenchanted with the ruling party as a result of all of this. More than 50% say that there should be a change of government, that there should be a new leader, because they had such a strong sense of disapproval over the actions of Yoon Suk-yeol, who they say essentially violated the powers of the president, who called martial law without reason. Now, South Korea's constitution allows for the president to call for martial law in situations of an emergency, such as a situation of war, not a political one, which Yoon Suk-yeol had attempted to justify calling for martial law, saying that the opposition was essentially blocking parliament from doing anything. But the court today found that that was not reasonable justification to put South Korea in a situation of political crisis.
All right, that's Al Jazeera's Jessica Washington live for us in Seoul. Thanks so much, Jess.